Now, Auburn, glory bound. The 2014 BCS National Championship Preview from WTVM News Leader 9. Sponsored by Extreme Power Sports, E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse, and Gill's Auto Sales.
It's a great week for Auburn fans as the team prepares to play in the BCS National Championship game after what could be the greatest turnaround in college football history. Tigers are ready to take on the #1 ranked Florida State Seminoles.
We got the best fans in college football, and they're in it with us. We're all in this thing together. A minute ago, I really think we're in the midst of something special here.
And good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to our BCS Special, Auburn Glory Bound. I'm Jason Dennis.
And I'm Barbara Gilche. We're so glad to have you with us tonight. We're just one day away now from the big game where the Auburn Tigers will take on the Florida State Seminoles for a chance to take home the title of national champions.
And with our team coverage of the game, we have Dave Plata and Annie Hubble in Pasadena, California. Also Elizabeth White in Auburn and Alexandra Vitale right here in our studio.
And getting us started is Sports Director Dave Plata. He is live from Pasadena where both teams are preparing for tomorrow's big face-off. Hey, Dave.
Hey there, Barbara. I'll tell you what, this is going to be the place to be tomorrow night, the Rose Bowl. #2 Auburn, #1 FSU duking it out for the national championship. These two proud programs looking for their third title ever. Auburn for their second in 4 seasons, FSU their first in a decade and a half. Now this morning, the two coaches met, hung around the trophy. Gus Malzahn, Jimbo Fisher posing with the hardware that everybody's chasing, trying not to touch it, of course. Now that crystal football is the last to be awarded as the BCS era comes to a close. Both guys have won titles as offensive coordinators, seeking their first as head coaches. It's all about keeping your heads in the game and your eyes on the prize.
You know, I'm trying my best to enjoy the moment, but the bottom line is we got a job to do. And as a coach, your responsibility is to have your team prepared as possible and to stay in that routine. And in this setting, this week, obviously that's a challenge, but you know, our team and our coaches have done that all year, and I feel so far up to this point, as a group, we've done it.
We have a core belief system of how I want things done. It's worked all year. It's worked in the past 3 years. We'll do the same things. To me, whether this is a national championship game or it's the opening game of the year, it's still a football game. And then we're going to do the same base fundamentals, put our kids at ease with the things we do and how we believe, and our routine will stay exactly the same. And hopefully we'll do very well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. These are two great teams, and we're going to spend the next hour showing you why these two squads are here in Pasadena ready to duke it out for a national championship. Jason?
All right, thanks very much, Dave, live from Pasadena. And Auburn's impressive and very surprising 12-1 season could be the biggest turnaround in college football history. Alexandra Vitale continues our team coverage by taking a look back at the Tigers' 2013 winning ways. Alex?
That's right, Jason. A lot has changed since last season for the Auburn Tigers, from Gene Chizik being fired after that disastrous 3-9 season, from the hiring of head coach Gus Malzahn, and now they have a new quarterback, Nick Marshall, and could very well end up with a national title. Time now to recap Auburn's impeccable season. Last year at this time, Auburn had finished their 3-9 season and was sitting at home watching Alabama and Notre Dame prepare to play for a BCS national title. But this year, how the tables have turned. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. The Tigers have only one loss this entire season and are ranked second in the country, preparing to play #1 Florida State for the Crystal Ball. From the Miracle at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
It's 4th and 18. With 36 seconds to go.
I was thinking we had it. Knew all we had to do was make a couple more stops.
Get them to 4th and 18. It's almost as good as it gets.
Somebody got to make a play. Those were the words that coach said to us.
We had a big one over the top in case they blitzed and went 0. We had a dig right at the sticks, and we had a check down just to try to draw the guys. But we were thinking big one to the dig to Sammy, and you know, I just heard in the huddle that Ricardo said, "Give me a chance."
He looked me dead in my eyes and told me that he wanted the ball. I said, "Nick, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. Look, Dennis, for you. I trust you. Throw me the ball. I'm gonna make a play."
Here's your ball game. Nick Marshall
Stands in, steps up.
I seen 3 safeties in the corner bail off and come on trying to cover me too. And I put my trust in him and deliver the ball.
Got to throw downfield, just a home run ball.
I judged the ball, and at first I was like, I'm gonna jump for it.
I was just praying to God that somehow we get a first down. I wasn't really thinking about a touchdown.
When the pass was in the air, I was like, okay, they're gonna bat it down, and it's over.
It is tipped up, and Lewis got it on the deflection. Lewis is gonna score. Lewis is gonna score.
They batted it, and dude got lucky and caught it, and so I couldn't believe what the ball. I was looking in the air, and I finally spotted it, and landed right in my hands. You know, it was over my shoulder, really, and it was just unbelievable.
Touchdown, Auburn! A miracle in Jordan Hare! A miracle in Jordan Hare!
And who could forget this play? Alabama and Auburn in the Iron Bowl with 1 second left on the clock and the game tied at 28. Alabama lined up to attempt a field goal, and then this happened.
56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
And on January 6th, the Tigers will have a chance to shock the world one more time if they beat Florida State in the BCS title game.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
And the man on the field leading his team through the winning season, quarterback Nick Marshall. Dave Plata takes a look at the player who had a surprising start to his career.
All right, Alex, you know, the Auburn offense has been a machine this year, averaging 505 yards total offense per ball game, and that includes a best-in-the-nation 335 yards rushing a contest. And 40-plus points a game. The zone read, it can be devastating to defenses, but it is devilishly difficult to run. Who'd have thought the nation's most explosive and complicated offense will be run by a player who had to learn it on the fly? New head coach Gus Malzahn came into the season with a dilemma. Who would play quarterback and run the sophisticated zone read offense? Malzahn turned to a junior college transfer who came in cold with no chance to get his feet wet in spring practice, Nick Marshall. He was admittedly a little nervous about the learn-on-the-job part of things.
The zone read, from a coach's standpoint, with a new quarterback, you worry about putting the ball on the ground because there's a lot goes to it. But you could just tell he had a knack.
It was very tough because coming in, I didn't know anything about the offense. It probably took me the second week of practice to get used to the offense, but as I got used to it, I just able to play my game.
It wasn't quite that easy or that quick. Marshall struggled a bit in the opener against Washington State, especially through the air. But he also showed what he could do on the ground.
We were like, all right, well, man, he's probably going to get sacks. And then you're like, well, he's not going to ever get sacked. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to always be alert. And, I think that makes the offense a little more fun.
A lot of that fun comes not from the gridiron, but the basketball court. Marshall was a two-time Georgia single-A state player of the year at Wilcox County, where he averaged 28 points a game.
When we signed him, we knew he was a good athlete. Just transition that over to the quarterback position.
He's probably one of the best basketball players, I think, on our campus. I remember watching him in high school. He's a force on the basketball court.
The basic, crossover that I have in basketball, I just kind of take that into football, use some of that on the football field. It gives me an advantage on some people, but it's just some of the natural talent that I have that God blessed me with.
Once he gets out in space and one-on-one situations, he's extremely hard to tackle, and he's very tough. He's a very good athlete, but he's very tough.
He proved just how tough in the final 2 minutes of the Mississippi State game in Week 3. That's when the Tigers got firmly on the Marshall bandwagon and the Gus bus.
We really saw that in the Mississippi State game whenever we drove down at the end of the game to score and win the game. I think that's really whenever guys started believing it, because it's one thing to hear it, but once it actually happens, that's whenever it really sinks in and guys really start trusting in that.
Certainly nothing has happened since then has dimmed the enthusiasm of the Tigers or of the praise for the way Marshall has run the offense.
His ability to, scramble out and make plays. You saw in the Missouri game, even the first touchdown pass to Sammy, he was able to get out of get out of some trouble and find Sammy in the end zone. So I think that helps us out a lot in terms of, passing, allowing the receivers to get that much more open. Also in the run, with the read zone, people will be worried about Trey every now and then he'll pull it, make somebody miss, and take it to the house. I think that helps our offense and makes it that much more dynamic.
Now, Marshall and the Tiger offense, they're going to have to be really dynamic tomorrow night, because what they have to do is outscore one of the nation's most prolific offenses. It's a Florida State Seminole squad that's averaging 53 points a ball game. That's a tall order, but remember, the Tigers have pulled off some amazing wins this season. Barbara, Jason?
Yeah, everybody looking for more amazing stuff tomorrow night. All right, Dave, thank you so much. And coming up here on our BCS Special, we'll take a look at how FSU made it to the BCS Championship game.
Plus, we'll hear from Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston, who led the Seminoles to an undefeated season so far. Welcome back to our BCS Special. The Auburn Tigers face some tough competition as they fight to bring home the Crystal football and become national champions.
Alexandra Vitale joins us now to take a look at the Florida State Seminoles and how they earned their trip to Pasadena. Alexandra?
That's right, Barbara. The Seminoles are the only team in the country with a perfect regular season record. It's time now to recap FSU's phenomenal season.
Led by fourth-year head coach Jimbo Fisher, the Florida State Seminoles are just one game away from becoming the BCS national champions.
Excited about playing Auburn. We've got a great opponent. Watching them on film, they're dynamic and make plays on offense, defense, special teams. Won games in a lot of different ways, and very well coached, and will be a great opportunity and great challenge for our team.
And a complete beatdown against Duke in the ACC championship, the Seminoles did exactly what was expected of them. Florida State ground Duke to fine powder with its rushing game. Jimbo Fisher also torched the Blue Devils secondary by cutting his wide receivers loose for Jameis Winston to find all over the field. The Seminoles have been on a mission all season long. And on a night where Ohio State went down and the Auburn Tigers outlasted Missouri, the Noles reminded the nation they were #1 for a reason.
We don't believe in just being complacent or just thinking like, okay, we got this in the bag. We got to get better every single day.
This Florida State team is special. In winning by at least almost 40 points per game, the idea of the Noles as one of the most dominant of the BCS era remains a true possibility. The next step for the 13-0 Seminoles is Pasadena. While many are calling Auburn a team of destiny, Florida State is simply a team of talent and focus. The national title will be a battle between destiny and domination.
And leading FSU through their undefeated season, the most impressive debut to the ACC most definitely belongs to redshirt freshman Jameis Winston. Here's why.
The hype for Jameis Winston is as much as I've ever seen for a first-year starting quarterback.
It's been an incredibly successful season for Florida State freshman quarterback Jameis Winston.
Florida State on a roll, looking for O'Leary. It's a touchdown in Jameis Winston's first touchdown toss. Winston instead will pull it out and throwing for the second time tonight. Winston into the end zone, touchdown Florida State.
That success has been ongoing the entire season, most recently in the ACC championship game against Duke, where he set the single-season record for the ACC and among FBS freshmen for passing touchdowns in a season, and also set the FBS single-season passing yardage record among freshmen. Winston now has 38 touchdowns this year with one game to go. For his efforts against Duke, Winston was named the ACC championship game MVP.
As a teammate and just having guys right here beside me, our team is trying to make history. We're not just trying to look at individual stats and things like that. Like, we trying to do something so much bigger than this.
With accomplishments like that, it's not really a surprise he won the Heisman Trophy this season.
When you watch someone work so hard for something and be so team-oriented, not individual-oriented, it reinforces that the good things happen to the good guys.
Another interesting fact about Winston is that he also plays baseball. He was drafted by the Texas Rangers in the 15th round of the 2012 Major League Baseball draft right out of high school, but he decided to go to college instead. Winston is a pitcher and outfielder for FSU, one of the top college baseball programs in the country.
2-1 from Strode. Hit on the ground, right side through base hit. Bulwer is going to head to third. Winston's going to try and gut him out, and he does. What a throw from right field. Jameis Winston.
Winston has led his team to a perfect 13-0 season and a trip to the BCS national title game in Pasadena, California, where he looks to get one more win on the season.
All right, we'll be finding out soon enough if Winston will be able to keep Florida State's winning ways going. Game time is less than a day away. Guys, back to you.
All right, we're getting excited. Thanks very much, Alexandra. And coming up on Auburn Glory Bound, if you're in Auburn and want to watch the game with other fans and friends, we'll tell you where you can go.
Plus, we'll take a look back at how Toomer's Corner has changed since Auburn's iconic oak trees were poisoned 3 years ago. Stay with us.
Do this for me, please. Yes, sir. Ready? Ready. 1, 2, 3. Warriors! Thank you very much.
Well, leading the Tigers to their winning season and getting the team to the BCS National Championship game was a task for the coaching staff. Our Dave Plata caught up with one Tiger coach who has always been an Auburn man at heart.
There's no question where Rodney Garner's heart resides.
Coming to Auburn, it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I just thank God every day, for blessing me with that opportunity to come to Auburn.
Garner arrived at Auburn as a highly recruited prep defensive lineman from Leeds, Alabama. His junior year, head coach Pat Dye moved Garner to the offensive side of the ball, and Garner blossomed, earning all-conference honors as a guard, helping the Tigers to a pair of SEC titles. He also earned the distinction that gives him the most pride, team captain.
I look back on, a lot of the, accolades and different things that, I've received over my life. And truly one of the things that I'm most proud of is being the captain of the '88 SEC Championship football team.
After a free agent tryout with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a season in the Arena League in 1989, Garner wound up back where he started, at Auburn, on the Tiger coaching staff for 6 seasons. His prowess as a recruiter found him in demand and found him eventually at Tennessee for 2 seasons and in Athens as Georgia's head recruiter and D-line coach for 15 years. As far as Garner's concerned, there's no big secret to his success as a recruiter.
I just think it's about developing relationships, developing the trust. My thing is, I always tell them, I've got 6 kids of my own. I don't want anybody mistreating mine. I'm going to treat your child just like it's my own. Now, I'm very demanding. I'm very hard on them. But at the end of the day, they know I love them. And I'm always going to tell them I love them. But now, am I going to make them toe the line? Yes.
So what did it take for Georgia's head recruiter and associate head coach to leave Athens? He got a call. They needed him back home. And having dinner with Gus Malzahn sealed the deal.
It was something different about Gus. Because, I'd had opportunities to come back, before with every head coach, after Terry. And it was just something different. I just felt when he was talking about Auburn, he was talking about Auburn the way I talk about Auburn.
Very excited about Rodney, so I'm going to welcome him right now. Rodney Garner. War Eagle.
And I hope it doesn't come across in an arrogant way. I just felt that it was a time for me to come back and help Auburn in a time of need, to give something back to something that had given so much to me.
So now Garner is in the middle of one of the biggest resurgences in college football history. The Tigers went from 3-9, 0-8 in conference to a number 7 national ranking and having a shot at going to the SEC championship game. It's like it's all part of the plan.
I definitely think that God definitely had a plan. He definitely knew more than I did. And I don't know that I could have written it any better. I love going to work every day. I love the group of men that I work with every day. I mean, I'm blessed and honored to be here. It's a humbling experience every day.
Tomorrow night, it's Garner's defensive lineman that could make the difference against top-ranked Florida State. You see, his crew is charged with the task of keeping Jameis Winston off balance to try to slow down the Seminole offense. The pressure is on Garner and company, which is just the way they like it, guys.
All right, tough task. Thank you very much, Dave. When we come back, we're going to talk to some of the Auburn alum who have traveled thousands of miles to go to tomorrow's big game.
Plus, the Auburn and Tallahassee mayors have money riding on this football game. We're going to tell you about their bet. That's right after the break. Well, not every Auburn fan can afford a ticket or the trip to see the Tigers play in the national championship game in Pasadena. Our Elizabeth White is live in downtown Auburn with details on how fans who stayed home can get a game day experience. Liz?
Hey, Barbie, according to our travel experts, a trip to Pasadena for two people costs around $8,000 to $10,000. That was just too expensive for a lot of Auburn University fans. But the good news is if folks are in California, they may watch Auburn win the BCS National Championship tomorrow. But if you're in Auburn, if they win, you can come down to Toomer's Corner and roll it. So that's the first positive. Also, there's some great opportunities tomorrow on and off campus to watch the game with a few thousand of your favorite Auburn University fans. First comes to mind on Auburn University's campus, the basketball arena. The arena, they're going to be opening up about 2 hours before kickoff, and they expect it to be a packed house. They're going to lower that huge jumbotron, that four-sided jumbotron, to the middle of that basketball floor. They'll be seating on the basketball floor and in the bleachers. And keep in mind, for the SEC Championship, 5,000 fans pack the Auburn Arena. Tomorrow, it seats about 8,500, and we are told they do not expect an empty seat in the house. So definitely come early. The event is free and concessions will be open. Also, another great opportunity for you will happen at the Auburn University Hotel and Conference Center. They're hosting a gala type event to watch the game in one of their ballrooms. All you got to do is call the Hotel and Conference Center to find out more information about that. Now, moving on just a little bit, Auburn University and Auburn has seen just so many changes, none more obvious than here in downtown Auburn. As many of you know, those trees were poisoned by Auburn or Alabama Harvey Updike, that radical fan from Alabama. According to prosecutors, he did poison the trees and they did die. And in April of last year, those trees had to be removed. Now, we were there. We're going to take you back to that day when hundreds of Auburn faithful showed up to say goodbye to their beloved oaks. Noise from a single chainsaw signals the end of an era at Toomer's Corner. How many years have you rolled these trees?
Probably 50.
100-year-old Edna Christmas sits in her wheelchair, wrapped in a warm blanket and her Auburn sweatshirt. She looks on as the 80-year-old oaks are brought down.
We hate to see them go. It's kind of like a funeral.
Hundreds of fans surrounded the trees, quietly watching and taking their final pictures. Work crews made their first cut around 7:30 Tuesday morning, gently lowering each limb to the ground, then loading it carefully onto a truck.
I mean, it's an important event. It's going to bring closure to one chapter of this whole Toomer's Oak situation.
It took nearly 6 hours to take both trees down, just a few hours to change this corner forever. But what hasn't changed is the Auburn spirit. Why do you love Auburn?
The War Eagle spirit.
If anything, Auburn has grown stronger because of this 2-year process that began when AU confirmed the trees have been poisoned after the 2010 Iron Bowl. We watched as Alabama fan Harvey Updike was arrested and charged, then the university's efforts to save the doomed trees. We were the first to confirm Updike's guilty plea and his sentence, and we were live when Toomer's Corner came to life with 83,000 fans for the final roll. Now you're taking a live look at Toomer's Corner as it looks right now. Of course, those trees are gone, but Auburn University experts do expect sometime this year they will replant new oaks at the corner after a massive renovation project. Again, that's supposed to happen sometime this year. Now, tomorrow, if Auburn does win, they're going to be rolling the guide wires that were placed up at the beginning of the season. They form a big V. So from above in the air looking down, when all the wires are rolled, it looks like the V for victory. And Auburn fans, they have been happy to do a lot of rolling here at Toomer's Corner this season. So tomorrow, hopefully it'll be more bitter or more sweet than bitter, rather, if Auburn University does take home the national championship, and fans will gather here and they'll roll the guide wires instead of rolling the Toomer's Oaks like they did in 2010. But again, hopefully more sweet than bitter. Barbara, Jason, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Elizabeth. And even without those famous trees, Toomer's Corner in Auburn is still a place for fans to make memories for sure. This memory will be unforgettable for one couple. Crawford Hinkle, Auburn class of 2010, proposed to Riley Walker, Auburn class of 2011, at that famous corner after the Iron Bowl game. Crawford had the ring with him all day. Fortunately, the Tigers won the game this season, and he scored a yes to his proposal as well.
That was very sweet on both ends for him.
That's why I'm glad she said yes.
Yeah.
Well, with the BCS National Championship game just 25 hours from now, stores in Auburn definitely ready. In fact, they've been gearing up for about a month now.
Yeah, Newsletter 9's Annie Hubble joins us live from Pasadena, California. So, Annie, you spoke with the owner of Tiger Rags in Auburn. So, are they ready for all of this?
Oh, they are absolutely ready. Tiger Rags has been working long hours preparing for thousands of people who could show up at their door if Auburn beats FSU tomorrow night. They are ready for a win on and off the field.
And once they come down the hallway, they check out.
Tiger Rags is hoping this hallway will be filled with hundreds of people Monday night ready to purchase a winning national championship shirt.
And it'll be the only place in town that they'll be available.
The store has been in preparation mode for the past month and has a winning t-shirt design ready for the printers. Rigby and his staff will arrive back at the store near the start of the fourth quarter on Monday, and if the Tigers win, they will be prepared to stay until the early morning hours or until everyone has a shirt that wants one.
Last time we did the national championship, I think I left here about 4:30 going home, and then we were back about 4 hours later to reopen. So we will run a full schedule, run as hard as we can.
Thankful for AU football, Tiger Rags has had an unbelievable fall in sales and has never experienced a season like this. They are taking a chance having Auburn winning national champion shirts printed before the game, but it's a chance they are willing to take.
But if they were to lose, we would have to take them over to the university and they would have to incinerate those shirts. So we would actually be, out that amount of money, but it's worth it to know that we could have national championship shirts on the street within, 10 minutes after the game.
Well, back here in Pasadena, Auburn alum have traveled from all around the country to attend the game tomorrow night, but there is a core group of Tigers right here in the LA area. The Auburn Alumni Club of Los Angeles and Orange County have hundreds of members combined living in the area. The LA clubs meet at a local bar to watch every game together. They also host multiple events throughout the year benefiting the Auburn Scholarship Fund, as well as charity in both California and the state of Alabama.
It was the last roll for Toomer's Corner. We collected toilet paper and donated it to the Ronald McDonald House and to the California Mission for homeless people. So that was a great charitable event that we were able to be involved in, and wasn't the same as rolling Toomer's Corner, but we were doing something good with it, so that was nice.
Where do I go? The bar where they meet for game days, Big Wings, also donates 10% of the proceeds to the Auburn Scholarship Fund. There will be a watch party at Big Wings tomorrow night, but most members will be in the stands here at the Rose Bowl Stadium. They got their tickets as soon as they heard the Tigers would be playing right in their backyard. Now back in Auburn, just like the Iron Bowl, Auburn Mayor Bill Ham placed a friendly wager with Tallahassee Mayor John Marks on the outcome of this title game. The mayor of the losing team city will contribute $200 to the Boys and Girls Club of the winning city. After the Iron Bowl win, Mayor Ham donated a $100 check to the Boys and Girls Club of Lee County, signed by the mayor of Tuscaloosa. Ham, a lifelong Auburn resident and alumnus of Auburn University, is confident about the outcome of the upcoming game.
As I mentioned to the mayor of Tallahassee, we've done quite well against undefeated teams. So we look forward to the challenge.
In addition to the check, if the Tigers win, Mayor Marks will also send Mayor Ham a sampling of a sausage from Tallahassee's iconic Bradley's Country Store. If the Seminoles win, Mayor Ham will send Mayor Marks a supply of freshly squeezed Toomer's lemonade, an Auburn tradition from Toomer's Drugstore in downtown Auburn. Now, Florida State University alumnus Mayor Marks has similar faith in his Seminoles. He says, quote, Auburn is also a great team, but if there is someone out there with any doubt to who will win, I have one word for them: unconquered. Reporting live in Pasadena, Annie Hubble, WTVM News Leader 9.
That's what they all say before they lose, by the way.
Never know.
You never know, exactly. All right, Annie, thanks so much. Coming up on our BCS Special tonight, Auburn's lead football announcer is receiving special recognition for his work this season.
And we will take a listen to one of his play calls that will go down in Tiger football history. Stay with us.
And welcome back to our BCS Special. This season, Auburn's Rod Bramblett was named the play-by-play announcer of the year by Sports Illustrated magazine. This gives him something else to celebrate other than the Tigers' wild victories. Our Elizabeth White sat down with Bramblett to talk about one of his notable play calls. Elizabeth joins us once again now from Toomer's Corner in Auburn with more. Liz?
Hey, Barbie, now take a look at this billboard on the side of Toomer's Corner Drugs. This big old chunk of Waterford crystal in the shape of a football. That's the dream tomorrow night for Auburn University fans. You know, so many incredible plays have led up to tomorrow night's game, Auburn versus FSU. Perhaps one of the more memorable plays in Auburn University season, and even perhaps in the entire history of the game, happened against UGA. They call it Miracle Inside Jordan-Hare. Auburn fans will never forget it. ESPN calls it one of the best calls in sports history, but the man who made that call, Rod Bramblett, says he doesn't even remember it. Take a look.
All right, here we go. 4th and 18 for the Tigers. Here's your ball game. Nick Marshall stands in, steps up. He's going to throw downfield, just a home run ball, and it is tipped off. And Lewis caught it on the deflection. Lewis is going to score. Lewis is going to score. Lewis is going to score. Touchdown, Auburn. Touchdown, Auburn. A miracle in Jordan-Hare. A miracle in Jordan-Hare.
AU lead announcer Rod Bramblett's A Miracle in Jordan-Hare is being hailed as the best sports call in Auburn history.
I don't know about best call, but I'll tell you this. It is up there in terms of just moments, and not only on Auburn football, but I think college football. It was just one of those crazy, unlikely moments that makes the sport so great.
It's one of those calls and plays an Auburn fan will never forget, even though Bramblett doesn't remember any of it.
No, I don't remember anything I said. I don't remember any of it. And that's kind of typical. I've had 2 or 3 that way where it's just been boom, out of the blue, and after it's all said and done, I turned to Stan White and I was like, Stan, I don't even know what I said. I said, I don't even know if I said that Auburn, I couldn't remember anything. And, you know, it was neat to hear it, and it's been neat to listen to it.
And Stan, I didn't even know what I said. I loved it when Rod Bramblett said that. Bramblett tonight is in Pasadena. He'll be hosting Tiger Talk from the Rose Bowl tonight from 6 until 8. He will also be calling the game live tomorrow from Pasadena, and you can check him out on the Auburn IMG Sports Radio Network. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Elizabeth. And while A Miracle in Jordan-Hare was a call that will go down in history for Rod Bramblett, that is not the only play call that made it big this season. It was one of the strangest and most exciting endings to a college football game when Auburn upset #1 Alabama in this season's memorable Iron Bowl.
Oh man, it was big. You know, our crowd was into it the whole. They never gave up. They kept being loud and just kept us pumped up.
Marshall keeps it, tries to get around the edge, tips it out. It's caught by Sammy Coates. Strolls in. Touchdown, Auburn.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
That was just crazy. I thought they were going to tear down the goalpost or something. Who knows? I mean, it was really good for them. We owe it to them, especially after last year. You know, they pay for, you know, a good game, and we were able to give it to them.
You know, I think the fans deserve this, you know, because what happened last year. And, you know, 2 weeks ago, the same thing happened, you know, so I can't really speak on it. We do it for the fans, you know, the coaches, and, you know, a great team win.
We got the best fans in college football, and they're in it with us. We're all in this thing together. That's a great thing about Auburn, and I'm just happy for them, happy for our players, and just happy for our program.
And by the way, the University of Auburn was fined $5,000 for fans storming the field after that huge Iron Bowl win, but for some reason I don't think they really care about that.
Boy, what a season, man. Yeah. And Bramblett's emotional calls kind of sums it all up.
It's great to hear him again.
It really is. Well, coming up here on Auburn Glory Bound, one former Auburn football star makes a huge impact off the field. We have his improbable story.
Plus, one pregame festivity Auburn fans aren't used to will be a little different in California. We will explain up next. Welcome back. You know, Auburn University has produced many incredible football players over the years. Our Dave Plata met with one former star for the Tigers who made an impact on and off the football field. He joins us now live from sunny Pasadena, California with more. Dave?
Jason, any good story has a hometown hero, and Ace Atkins, he fits the bill perfectly. The son of former Auburn great Billy Atkins, well, he earned a byline in the 1993 team's unbeaten season. There will be more bylines to follow off the football field. Ace Atkins considers the success of the 1993 Auburn Tigers a most improbable story.
Nobody thought this team was going to do anything. We had two very bad seasons. There was a black cloud. You felt like things were unraveling, but there was something about the energy, the new coach, the chemistry between the players. It all came together.
Of course, Atkins himself is a most improbable story. A 1989 Tigers signee who left the team, then came back 2 years later to re-earn his scholarship. He saw limited playing time as a senior, but made the most of his opportunity against then fourth-ranked Florida. He personally decimated the Gators, sacking future Heisman Trophy winner Danny Werfel 3 times to help the Tigers pull off the 38-35 upset.
My specialty was rushing the quarterback. That's what I did. And it just came out in that game that they needed somebody to rush the quarterback.
He ended up coming to my side. It just worked out well. It really did.
What a comeback for defense in the second half.
Oh, we had a blast. It was just, it was a lot of fun.
The 93 season turned into one for the ages. Their 22-14 win in the Iron Bowl capped an 11-0 season. Victory cigars for all.
Yeah, I still have one of those cigars. I probably wouldn't smoke it right now being 20 years old, but I still have it.
Atkins knew the Iron Bowl would be his last football game, but he had already started writing the next chapter in his life.
I knew that I wanted to be a novelist, and I knew that I wanted to be a writer. I had started working on a novel even when I was at Auburn. So the whole time during the 92 season, in 93 season, I'm a football player, but I'm working on my novel.
His college novel went nowhere, but main character Nick Travers stuck around, becoming the hero of his first 4 novels starting in 1998. His experience writing crime stories for the Tampa Tribune turned into 4 more books, including a fictionalized version of the cleanup of Phoenix City in the 1950s. Another series featuring a former Army Ranger named Quinn Coulson garnered him 2 Edgar Award nominations for Best Mystery Novel. Then, the widow of Robert B. Parker asked Atkins to continue her late husband's iconic detective series, Spencer. Picking up a character who had been the focus of 40 novels, a network TV series, and 7 TV movies is the challenge he embraces. After all, he's been reading the series since he was a teenager.
There was something about that character that really resonated with me, and it was something that I really felt spoke to me both as a person and as a writer, and really shaped the type of books that I ended up writing. It led me to becoming a crime reporter. It led me to wanting to do investigations and all kinds of stuff. It's what I really liked. So when I was asked to possibly continue this series, I knew I didn't want anyone else to do it. And I knew I had been prepping for it for a very long time.
This summer, Atkins spent 2 months doing a double book tour for the 3rd Quinn Coulson novel and for his 2nd Spencer book, both released in May. Atkins enjoyed the tour, but that's not what it's about for him.
The best part, without a doubt, is the creative process. For me, it's in this room, is the idea of sitting down every day with a cup of coffee and not knowing what's going to happen in your story, and, telling this story, bringing this world to life, and then ultimately connecting to your readers. The fun for me every day is at the keyboard, and that's where I'm happiest. You know, I get a cup of coffee, I get my keyboard, I'm telling stories, I'm set.
Now, Atkins' latest Spencer novel went to the publishers in September. He's working on his fourth Quinn Colson novel, and I wish he'd hurry because the third was a complete cliffhanger. As for his plans for tomorrow night, Atkins told me he's going to be at home in Mississippi, and he said he'll be enjoying some classic whiskey, some fine cigars, and rooting on his alma mater. Barbara?
That is the way to do it. All right, Dave, thank you so much. Well, if you've ever been inside Jordan-Hare Stadium for a game, the pregame festivities are certainly a sight to see, especially when the school's Eagle mascot swoops out from his cage, circles the football field, and lands in the middle on the 50-yard line. All while the crowd yells an extended War Eagle. News Leader 9's Elizabeth White joins us live now from Toomer's Corner with the Eagles' different flight pattern this weekend. Elizabeth, tell us more.
Barbara, you did great with that War Eagle. I'm really impressed. Yeah, you know, Nova, one of Auburn University's Eagle mascots, took another flight this weekend. He hopped a plane out of Montgomery, flew all the way across country to California so he could be there for the game tomorrow night. Now, he will not be flying in the Rose Bowl before the game tomorrow night. Instead, he's going to take part in some educational activities and efforts before the game. And also, he will be on the sidelines to, of course, rally the fans and the players, because his trainer says really Nova exemplifies the spirit of Auburn, and that is the War Eagle spirit. They never give up and they never stop fighting. So again, Nova in Pasadena for the game tomorrow. Now, we're going to be back here tomorrow all day live on WTVM. This is where I'll be, right here on the corner at Toomer's Corner in downtown Auburn. We're going to be going live all day, and if Auburn does win this game, we're going to have a party, and we'll be here to cover it. It's a party nobody really expected to throw. Barbara, back to you.
All right. She said I did well on the War Eagle.
Very nice.
I've been practicing. All right.
We're going to get a crew out here to do that as well. Coming up in Auburn, Glory Bound, the Auburn football players aren't the only ones preparing for tomorrow's game. We'll speak with the Tigers marching band as they get ready for the performance of a lifetime.
Plus, here's some interesting facts about Auburn's season this year and their history playing FSU. That's all when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are just a day away now from kickoff for the national championship game in Pasadena, and one of the largest groups of Tigers, the AU Marching Band, has touched down in California, ready to take the field by storm. Our Annie Hubble caught up with the band at one of their practices this morning. She joins us live now from Pasadena to explain how they're preparing for the national stage tomorrow night. Annie?
Well, that's right, Barbara. We were up bright and early at the AU Marching Band practice this morning, and officials tell us this is the first time for a lot of the students in this part of the country, and even the first time on an airplane. But needless to say, they are all ready to bring down the house in the Rose Bowl Stadium tomorrow night. Paige Lenson, Auburn University senior and drum major for the AU Marching Band, looks out at her fellow members at one of her last practices before the title game tomorrow night.
This is the perfect way for us to end the season. You know, everybody in the band loves the team, win or lose, but to come back and have such an outstanding season and the games just keep getting bigger and bigger, which for us gives us a bigger stage to perform on each week.
Lenson was a freshman when Auburn headed to the national championship game in 2010. She says leaving Auburn with another championship ring on her finger would only heighten the memories of some of the best years of her life.
It feels kind of full circle, having been here freshman year and not being on the leadership team, but being a member in the band and seeing what the Auburn family meant and what it felt like to perform on that stage. And now coming back as a senior, I mean, I'm really hoping for bookend crystals here.
The 380-member band landed in California Saturday and hit the ground running with practices at area school campuses. Even though they had not been together for over a month due to the holiday break, you would never guess it by the way they are performing at rehearsals.
Luckily, our students work very hard, they're very disciplined, they're very attentive, and they know what's at stake, and they were very successful in 2010. I expect them to do the same thing this time.
The band is performing their stage and screen Broadway to film show. They performed at the Iron Bowl in SEC championship game. They want the audience to be prepared for one more magical evening this football season.
Our students are going to do everything they can to create a great atmosphere, a lot of enthusiasm, kind of bring Jordan-Hare to the Rose Bowl.
You know, we got quick offense, we got quick tunes we're going to play, we're going to get the audience pumped up, the players pumped up. It's going to be incredible in there.
Now we hear there is a friendly competition with the FSU marching band, but Auburn members say that they are honored to be playing with a band with such a high caliber program. Reporting live in Pasadena, Annie Hubble, WTVM News Leader 9.
I can't wait to hear him play tomorrow night. Thank you, Annie. Now we have some facts about the Auburn Tigers this season. At 12-1, Auburn has posted the biggest ever turnaround in SEC history and tied for the biggest improvement in NCAA records. This is Auburn's second trip to the BCS championship game and third time in a BCS Bowl. At their last meeting in 1990, Auburn beat Florida State 20-17, and in their series history with FSU, Auburn leads with 13 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie.
And coming up after the break, we're going to check in one last time with Dave Plata, who is live in California for the championship game.
So will Dave have a prediction on the big game? Stay with us. And we go back live now to Dave Plata in Pasadena, California, where we're almost 24 hours away now from the kickoff for the BCS National Championship game.
Yeah, Dave's seen both teams preparing for the games. Your final thought, Dave, on the outcome of the game?
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you want to compare the teams as teams, FSU is probably a more complete team. They've got pretty much everything. And Auburn, they've been called one-dimensional. Well, they very well may be, but you know something else? A tsunami is also one-dimensional. And you know what you can't stop? A tsunami. We're going to have to wait and see if the Seminoles can actually stop the Auburn rushing attack. I don't know which way I would go. Yes, I do know which way I would go on this one, but we're going to talk a little bit more on this in tomorrow's special, guys.
Ooh, a cliffhanger there.
Yes, have to wait to see.
All right, thank you, Dave. Kickoff at 8:30 Eastern time for that big game tomorrow night.
And we'll have another BCS special airing tomorrow at 7:30, counting down to the game. And make sure you tune in for the latest on how both teams are preparing for the face-off. Don't forget, updates anytime, WTVM.com.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's BCS special. Go Tigers!
Yeah, War Eagle. All right, see you tomorrow.